Hi, this is Ellen Brock, editor at Keytop Inc. This video is going to be about how to write interesting and complex characters, and I'm going to give you 8 simple steps to follow. Step 1 is just to create the basics, your character's name, age, and what they look like. Step 2 is your character's objective. What do they want? If the novel were to turn out perfectly in their favor, how would they want it to end? Step 3 is motivation. Why does your character want this thing? What is it that drives them? What need are they fulfilling? Or what desire will they realize by meeting their objective? And motivation is very important in a novel because if the readers don't understand why your character wants the thing that they want, they won't be rooting for them. They won't have any reason to root for them. So you need to make it clear what the character stands to gain from meeting their objective, and that's their motivation. Step 4 is stakes. What are the stakes for your character? If your character does not meet their objective and things don't go according to plan, what is the consequence of this? How will it hurt your character? Readers need to feel a sense of suspense, and suspense comes from the stakes. What could go wrong and what will happen to your character if things do go wrong? That's what creates the tension and the desire for the reader to continue reading. So stakes are very important in your novel. And stakes don't have to be life or death. They just have to be bad enough that we'll feel sorry for the character and we'll feel sympathy for the character if they meet these consequences, if this bad thing happens. The stakes do need to be high enough that they feel like it's worth the character's actions. Step 5 is the obstacles. What is standing in the way of your character achieving this thing that they really want? Most novels will have internal and external obstacles. A novel can have one major obstacle, but more often there's a series of smaller obstacles as well as an overarching obstacle. Just make sure that you put enough obstacles in your character's path to make their journey challenging, because that's what makes the reader feel satisfied when they get to the end and the character gets what they want or maybe doesn't get what they want. But what makes the ending satisfied is the journey and the complexity of the journey and the challenges in the journey. So if you make the journey easy and you don't put obstacles in the way of the characters, it's not going to be interesting and your readers are going to lose interest. Step 6 is creating the character's past. What happened to the character that led them to be where they are today? In real life, everybody has elements of their past that are negative, mistakes that they've made, negative things that have happened to them, things other people have done to them, tragedies, traumas, things of that nature. So it's only natural that your character will also have a background that has some negativity to it. It adds a lot of depth and interest to your character to have these elements of their past affect their present. Step 7 is creating a flaw for your character. Everybody has flaws, it's just a part of being human, so giving your character flaws makes your character feel much more real and more relatable. It can also be really interesting to give your character flaws that affect their journey throughout the story. So, for instance, maybe your character's objective is to star in a play, but their flaw is that they have horrible stage fright. And so the character's own flaw can become an obstacle. Step 8 is how your character relates to other characters in your story. Once you've gone through and you've followed the first 7 steps with all of your characters, at least all of your major characters, and you really understand them, take some time to think about how their flaws and their personality traits and their objectives might conflict with each other. It might be a good idea to deliberately create characters where their objectives are conflicting, especially if you have a protagonist and an antagonist. The antagonist has to want something that the protagonist does not want, or otherwise there's no conflict. But it doesn't have to stop at a protagonist-antagonist relationship. This can continue through all relationships, romantic relationships, friendships, allies. So look at their character traits and how they might conflict with each other, and see where you can create interesting situations for arguments, disagreements, misunderstandings. And this can add a lot of richness and interest to the way that your characters are relating to each other. So those are my 8 steps for creating a complex and interesting character. I hope that they're helpful for you, and if you have any ideas or any topics that you would like me to make a video about, just send me an email or leave a comment. If this video was helpful to you, I would really appreciate it if you could like the video or share the video. It helps me get clients and it helps me keep making videos.